this is where the ashes came. This is the actual panel that was excavated. And those are the stones here that the ashes are in. It was slightly in a semicircle, and the ashes here was inside those stones. It was located in the corner of the panel. So, and even removing the ashes, the removal was a very, I wouldn't, what would I say, traumatic or very sad. God knows where they were sent or what happened. Or there's no sustenance, there's nothing. We felt a presence, and the presence was a spirit presence. A presence, I'm in absolutely no doubt, was the spirits of those people that were brutally burned out of their mud cabins. And unlike other sites, but there was no stone there, because the mud all disintegrated and there was no structure, only mud cabins, which were burned to the ground. When about a foot underneath, we got this ashes. And it was so very emotional. And I found my tears welling up in my eyes, to think of the predicament that we're in. I'd like to speak about what's in this jar. It's ashes. And it's ashes from a site from a townland called Multimedia. The name, and it's beside where I lived, of Multimedia. He said that he remembered, no, I don't know whether he said his father or his grandfather. He saw the smoke billowing in the distance in that area. Now those are only mud cabins. They're listed on the eviction list, and some of them were listed as beggars, and more of them as widows, and they had nothing. In short, to concentrate on this, they were called panels, and they came across a hearth with the ashes in it, and it was only just in the corner of the panel with just ordinary stones round. And this ashes, or some of it I took from it, was there. So this is it. Here, I still like the ashes, you see. See where it clings to my finger. God help them, it's an awful time for them. I can picture, I see them going away from after they've been burned out. And it's with just a pole on their back and a little bag of belongings tied in the end of the pole. And when he turned around to me, he said, John, he said, they hadn't even that to bring with them. And nothing. To add to that is very sad we didn't learn, or the world hasn't learned from that time, because there's still people suffering, dying from hunger today.
So I will make an artwork with ashes from famine times, and I'm honored to do so. And I will put it into the resin and will create some artwork. My main idea is to keep your memories, and it's great that I will have such a meaningful stuff about famine.
I think that's its idea of composition, and it can be like a wallpaper with gold, Chinese, like something very exotic. And
For the aristocracy side,
yes, and
which
I want to
we can
show
see
you-
there on that design there, it's like that.
Yeah.
So that the detail of it will be like a botanical art style that is rotted by at the end.
5.7. And that is a 1.5.
This is set design team. We have Donna at the helm. We have Alia here, and we have Elena. We just had a great meeting, and that's us done for today, isn't it? We think we've got the design up and running, so yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1. Action!
The story of Daniel Time. Once upon a time, over 175 years ago, deep in the heart of Ireland's countryside, there was a little cottage. The cottage was hidden away in County Roscommon, in a little place called Roscommon, where the Tye family lived.
The Tye family had lived there for generations and generations. This little home was nothing fancy, and they had very little to boast of in the way of fancy things. But what they could boast about was how they sang songs and told stories. The lovely little cottage walls lovingly treasured the family's beautiful songs as they sat around the hearth on Monday Eve, heartedly telling stories and making music.
There was a Daddy Tye and Mammy Tye called Mary and 5 little children. And of this body of children, rumour has it that there was one very special boy called Daniel Tye. Daniel had a special power that he kept secret, and even his favourite sister Catherine did not know about it. His secret was his imagination, and behind the glassware of his eyes a whole world was turning.
Outside the walls of the Tye family home, a terrible famine was ravaging Ireland's green fields. And even worse than that, an even worse empire ruled the island of Ireland, led by a tyrant queen, Queen Victoria. The greedy empire was taking more land, more food, and making the poorest of the poor even poorer. And it was no question that the Tye family were poor.
And things could not have gotten any worse. Daddy Tye got very sick and sadly died, leaving Mary Tye a widow to mind her 5 children alone. The humble cottage of the Tyes was on a gigantic estate. The estate was ruled by a select group of aristocrats that lived in a house called Strokestown Park. Inside that huge grand house there was a landlord, Dennis Macken.
In Strokestown Park lived a family that had been rich for a long time by stealing everyone else's land, and for a lot of other reasons that we won't mention today. It was a house that thought it was very important indeed. Landlord Dennis wanted to clear the land. People were hungry, and any amount of relief he thought he could offer by that point was not enough.
The people were starving and there was no money, as the estate owed money to eat this time. So they decided they wanted to clear the land and move people off the land. So they gave them notices to quit and organised paid passage to Canada.
They even gave a notice to quit to the widow Mary Tye and told their families to keep this precaution.
Hunger or no hunger, I will no longer stand for rent and arrears.
This is our home. I don't want to leave. Where are we to go if we are to surrender our land? Are they going to throw us out on the road or put us in the poorhouse?
Famine, we must go to Canada. There's no other way.
No, lovely, we have to go on a boat.
Widow Tai, how many children are with you?
5.
I'm hungry. I feel sick. I'm hungry.
I feel tired. Yes, there are 5 of us. My name is Daniel, sir. My dad Barnard got a place on the public works, improving the lakes on the estate for the maid. The works made my dad get sick with fever.
I have a long journey ahead of you.
I will.
Hey, take these shoes. You'll be needing them.
Thank you, I've never had anything so fine.
May they bring you luck.
So the Thai family began the long walk.